Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back and thank you for watching Blue Dog Reptiles. Now, today we're talking about one of the most popular animals I think in the trade is the bearded dragon. I cannot believe that I haven't done a bearded dragon video yet. This is one of our citrus leatherback males. You can see the citrus in his chin there. He's like, what are you doing? Why are you touching me? But this guy right here has quite the little personality on him. But yeah, these guys are absolutely amazing. And there's a lot that goes into them. So with that being said, before we get going on this though, thank you to all the new subscribers. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. And if you're new to this channel, we bring you new videos each and every Friday on different reptiles and their care guides. And this will be our last video for 2022. So my daughter's making him dance. But with that being said, guys, if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Help us continue to grow this channel. Share it with your friends and family. Also, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, as well as with the New Year's being right around the corner. I hope you guys have an amazing New Year's and all your resolutions come true. So let's jump into that. While she holds him, we're actually going to jump up here. So bearded dragons come from Australia. It's actually their point of origin. And you may go, well, yeah, sorry, we have a bearded dragon trying to climb my child. But you may go, well, why do you have this bedding? Why is it not something else? Well, we'll get into that in a minute here. So they do come from Australia. These guys on average range in size from 12 to 24 inches. This boy right here is about 14 to 16 nose to tail. And as you can see, we have, oh, there she is over there. We have a female back over there. And then we actually have some, we call them little Aussies, but this is a citrus leatherback juvenile. And then we have a hypo red male as well. So lots of different variations in bearded dragon. Are you making him swim? Lots of different morphs, lots of different colorations, but the diet on these guys, as you can kind of see a little bit, and the diet we'll dip into here. So as babies, these guys need to be eating every day, and typically their food needs to be 80% insects and 20% fruits and veggies. Now, insects can consist of mealworms, dubia roaches, crickets, butterworms, waxworms, you name it. They're not picky. You notice they will be a little picky when it comes to their greens. As babies, it's not as big of an issue. He's being rowdy, so he got brought back to me. But what are you doing, huh? What are you doing? What should we call these? What should we name him? I don't know. Call him Spaz. That's what he is. He's a Spaz. But as adults or subadults, like this male is or this female is, their diet flips. They're going to be eating 20% insects. They're just going to be larger prey. And then they're going to be eating 80% greens. Now, greens can consist of mustard greens, collard greens, romaine lettuce. We do diced up bell peppers, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and everything in between. Now, there are certain vegetables that you want to stay away from, and certain greens such as spinach, cauliflower, and you can do small amounts of kale, but I wouldn't do it as a regular basis in their diet. Man, she is just not thrilled. I mean, look at that expression. She's just like, why are you filming me? But she's a big girl. She's about 16 inches. So she is classified as an adult. And as adults, these guys are going to be eating every other day. We don't feed the adults every single day because then you'll end up with a very fat dragon. We feed these adults, let's see if I can get them off my shirt here. But we feed them the adult dubia roaches, but we only feed him, like, he is only getting 2 every other day. And you can see he's a good sized dragon. Our female down below there, she's getting 1 because she's kind of pushing it on being chubby. And so we're putting her on kind of a fast diet. Now over to enclosure size. This is a big key factor. As you can see, this is a 4 foot by 2 foot by 18-inch vision enclosure. This is about the bare minimum size that you need for an adult bearded dragon. These guys need the room to roam, they need the room to dig, and it's very crucial. Now as babies, it's a little bit different. Let me close that door so we can walk over to the babies. So as the baby, you can see, so these are actually 12 by 12 by 15s. This one is actually the perfect size for this enclosure. This one is actually getting ready to get moved to a larger enclosure, something that's a little bit more horizontal and give it a little bit more room to run. But you could quite easily have a baby in a 12 by 12 or an 18 by 18. But realistically, it's not practical. Because you're going to be spending money on, I would actually do a 20-gallon long and then move him to a 40 and then to a 75, or just do custom builds after that. And you heard it right, because as these guys grow, you can't just throw a baby beardy into a big enclosure. If you do that, they're going to be scared, they're not going to come out, they're not going to eat, and you're going to end up with a deceased dragon, and we don't want that. I love this little guy. Oh, he heard me talking about him. Lighting with these guys, as you can see toward the back there, we actually have the UV, and then we have the basking bulb as well. T5s are the way to go. Now, when you get big bearded dragons, let's say we actually have a client that has an adult bearded dragon, and he has a 6 by 3 by 3. Anytime you have a very tall enclosure, the T5 is just not going to cut it. You're going to have to upgrade to the T10 so that that UV can penetrate low enough in the enclosure for your dragon to get the proper UV rays. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on these guys. Basking spots for adults is typically going to be between 100 and 110, whereas juveniles are going to be in the mid 90s. Your overall ambient temperature is going to be 80 to 90 degrees. And then with your juveniles, that's for an adult. Juveniles is going to be 80 to 85 ambient. And then at nighttime, so these guys do come from the desert, and so they're going to be in the cold. Guess what? Deserts do get cold. Oh, look at that. That's actually a perfect picture of him. But these guys cool off. And so your cool side of the tank can be 71 to 77 degrees. I've even seen them dip into the mid 60s, just as long as it doesn't get any colder than that. During the winter months, I would definitely recommend running a ceramic at night. Ceramics don't emit any lights, and so you're still going to have the natural cycle of lights. We do ours 8 a.m. The lights come on, 8 p.m. the lights go off. That way they have a natural day cycle. Bromation is up next. Now, oh, I'm sorry. No, we actually skipped a bunch. Ha! But we will get to bromation here in a second. Humidity on these guys is 35 to 40%, and there is a very good reason for that. And I'm actually going to pick this boy back up so that we can do a little show and tell. He's done. Sorry, he's being squirmy. He doesn't want me to flip him over. Okay, so right here on the inside of his thighs are actually what's called femoral pores, and he has it on the inside of both legs. Essentially what this is for is to, sorry, my fingers are in the way of the camera. In the wild, they lay out a scent. It's kind of like a dog marking its territory. They do the same around their enclosures. But the issue is those pores can actually get clogged, and these guys can get infected by it. With that being said, there are ways to prevent that from them being clogged. A is proper humidity. B, you need your substrate to be a little rough, or you need, as you can see, we have a big log in there that he can climb on and rough up his pores to keep them clean. You can use rocks, like big river rocks, and I can actually show you a couple right there. Or you can use any of the cork right here. This works just as well. But you want to make sure to keep those pores clean. Now, if they do get clogged, you can soak them, bearded dragons, which you should be doing anyway, about twice a week. But use a soft bristle toothbrush to rub the pores to help clean it. And then also make sure to contact your exotic vet. Oh, man. All right. Bromation is up next. Now, bromation is something that, especially with this time of year, we're seeing a lot in different dragons. And it's nothing that you're doing wrong. It's actually something that is very natural to the dragons. So when it gets cold in Australia, these guys hibernate. And how they do that is they will actually dig a burrow, go in there, and camp out for the winter months. You'll notice, and if you wonder if your bearded dragon is in bromation or not, here are some clear indicators. And that would be they're going to spend less time around the basking area. And on that note, if you see your bearded dragon with his mouth open and him looking like he's panting, that is nothing wrong. That is him just doing, he's thermoregulating his body temperature. So kind of like how dogs pant, he's doing the same thing. If your bearded dragon doesn't do that, there's a chance that your enclosure might not be warm enough for him. But back to bromation. Let's see if I can read my chicken scratch handwriting. But they're going to spend less time out basking. They're going to spend more time on the cool side. They're going to spend more hours of the day sleeping and hanging out, and their appetite is going to drop. So, what are you looking at? As you can see, this guy is actually a leatherback, which is really cool. They don't have all the spikes down their back. They're very smooth. And he's puffing up because I'm holding him all awkwardly. He's like, what? But next we move on to decorations. We already kind of touched base on this. Make sure to have something rough. You can also see it down here. We have a piece of ghost wood with a half log. And then we do also have a water dish in there. And that is so he can get a drink and soak if he wants to, but we still pull them out so that they can soak, so we know they're being soaked. Health concerns with these guys is the most common one is MBD, or metabolic bone disease, and mouth rot, respiratory infections, and AIs, all of which can be prevented with proper care. These guys do need calcium, both with D3 and without, and then they also need vitamins. And you can sprinkle this on their insects, you can sprinkle it on their fruits and veggies, just as long as they're getting it. And now, last but not least, is the dreaded controversy of the substrate. What type of substrate to put for your bearded dragon? And that is sand and soil. And you're like, no, you can't put sand. They'll eat it and then they'll die. No, guess what? These guys come from Australia where there is sand. There are different types of sand. And so that is something that you need to be mindful of. And I'll show you a key example here. Oh, actually I can't because I just sold the rest of it. But I'll tell you anyway. So there's walnut sand. And walnut sand is 4 millimeters thick. Now, that is the type of sand that, yes, if ingested, can lead to infections, especially with juveniles. But you also have calcium sand. Calcium sand is 1 millimeter thick and is perfectly fine for dragons. It's what we put our dragons on, it's what we put our leopards on, but we don't do just calcium sand. As you can see in the soil here, and we'll put him back up there, but it's a mixture of soil and sand because we want that grittiness in the soil. That way when he digs, he's shaving down his nails. He's also, if he wants to go and create a den, he can dig into the soil and it hold form for him. And then his femoral pores are gonna get shaved down as well with the grittiness of the substrate. So if you don't like that, tell me what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'm sure I will get a lot of hate for what I just said, but it is what it is. You can't go off of old, outdated forums. We collaborate a lot of times with scientific documents. Now, if you can come to me with a scientific document proving, and I'm not saying it, and I'm not trying to start anything up, but you can't just go to Google and go, well, Google says this. Well, I could post on Google that the sky's purple and somebody's gonna believe it. If you want to do proper research, go on to Google Scholar, which is scientific facts and data backed up by science. That is something that proves that these guys need the type of environment that I just described. So, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next Friday. Please help me come up with a name for him. What do you guys think? Spaz? Spaz 2.0? I don't know. Huffy Pants?
No, chubby pants.
Chubby Pants? My daughter thinks chubby pants. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that offend you? But guys, thanks for tuning in. Please consider subscribing if you're new to this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, love your family and love your reptiles more.